Okay, folks. Well, I went and saw two movies this weekend. Um, Both very, very, very different from each other. About as different, probably, as two movies can get. The first movie I saw was Wes Anderson's Asteroid City. And oh boy, was this movie a fucking masturbation. It was a real fucking masturbation. It was really enjoyable. You know, you were very visually stimulated, but ultimately it leaves you feeling a bit empty. It was the ultimate exercise in masturbation, but you know what? I really enjoyed it. Is there any, like, is the narrative very coherent? No. Is the framing device with the play and the inside the play and outside the play really that groundbreaking or amazing? No. However, I do like that anytime it's like a play within a play or a production within a production or some like Moulin Rouge, shit like that. I do enjoy it. It tickles my taint. It tickles my taint, Asteroid City. The movie is so visually gorgeous. I wish I had seen it in IMAX. This is the most beautiful movie visually since Avatar 2. And really, you needed to see Avatar 2 in IMAX, though. This you did not need to see in IMAX to appreciate it. But if you can still see this on a movie theater screen, if you are going to see it, I advise seeing it in a movie theater for a couple of reasons. Of course, the visuals will be much better on a bigger screen, which is the whole crux and selling point of this film. But also, and this is for the same reason I'm going to recommend that you see the second movie I watched in theaters. There are no distractions in the movie theater. You're not going to get up. You're not going to go on your phone unless you're a piece of shit. And so because of that, you're actually going to sit there. You're going to pay attention to it. You're going to soak in the atmosphere, the vibe, the visuals of Asteroid City. Whereas if you're at home, if your attention span isn't that great, or if there's any sort of distraction, if you're gonna get on your phone and shit, you know, you're just wasting your fucking time. And you're gonna be bored. You really have to let yourself get lost in it. For this movie in particular, because it really is, you know, it's mostly visual. The ensemble cast, I mean, they have an incredible cast. There's like Ed Norton and Bryan Cranston and fucking Scarlett Johansson and Steve Carell and fucking Margot Robbie and fucking what's his name, Jason Schwartzman or whatever the fuck. There's so many. Tom Hanks. I don't know if I've ever seen a movie that star-studded. It's pretty intense to the point where you've got these like great actors. Oh, Jeff Goldblum's in it even. You've got these big name actors in it who have fucking like 2 lines. So it's not like, you know, like for instance, Bryan Cranston is not really in this. Like Edward Norton isn't really in this. Jeff Goldblum's not like Jeff Goldblum especially isn't really in this. Steve Carell's like everybody just has a very bit. I mean, it really is an ensemble cast. Is there anything here from an acting perspective that's really mind blowing, or from a narrative perspective, very mind blowing? No, but I don't think anybody was expecting that from Wes Anderson. What he did deliver on, I mean, the visuals, because it's like the whole town is like a little diorama. It's like a model, like train set, and there's just something like so surreal to it, and there's just like this American West, this retro futuristic 1950s desert feel, and the way he shoots it In particular, I really enjoyed when you have Schwartzman and I don't know, was that Margot Robbie? Was that Scott? I don't even fucking know. I can't remember it this time. But when you have him and the love interest looking back and forth through the two sheds, and on the one shot you had like a realistic desert, and then on the other shot you had the diorama. I thought that was a very fun little visual thing there. There's a lot of fun little visual things like that throughout the movie. I really enjoy it. It's entirely dependent, though, on how horny you are for like retro, futuristic 1950s aesthetics made in a diorama in the desert. If you're not interested in looking at pretty shots of things, I don't know how much there really is here. It just mostly seems to be this guy jerking himself off. To be real. I'm sure you can read meaning into it or come up with your own interpretation of things. But I think this was just an excuse to get a bunch of really famous people together to jerk off and make something really pretty with diorama sets. So that's Asteroid City. I do recommend that you see it in a movie theater if you can. If not, like, this isn't something you have to like rush out to see. It's fun, it's cute, but like it is a bit overhyped. You know what I mean? But the visuals alone, I mean, it's an entirely cinematic film in that sense, where it's all visually told and you're just looking at stuff that, and the way he moves the camera, the way he frames things, his shots, the stop motion sequences and stuff. I mean, you can tell he's really having fun with this, that it is an incredible masturbation session. But your like aesthetic tastes need to be in line with that. If you don't like the way that this looks for whatever reason, I think it's beautiful. But if you don't like the way it looks, this ain't for you. All right? Now let's move on to the much more hyped film, which I guess I'll do a separate video for, which is The Sound of Freedom. I'll be right back.